Hi everyone, my name is Carson Parody. I'm currently a senior and sit on the board of the North Shore High School Key Club. What you're about to watch is our Senior Key Club project. We have created a video presentation on alcohol and substance abuse in order to educate you regarding harmful substances and how to say no in certain circumstances. This video will cover 6 topics that will help you prepare for what you may face in your near future. We hope that we make a difference to all of you as you make your difficult transition to the high school. The first topic is peer pressure and how peer pressure relates to substance abuse. I'd now like to introduce Gianna Albanese.
Hi, my name is Gianna Albanese, and the slide that I will be talking about is the peer pressure slide and how it relates to substance abuse. This is something that occurs more often in high school than in middle school, which is why you need to be prepared on how to handle these types of situations. You can't disregard your own values and beliefs because of the influence of others, and I'm going to be sharing some tips with you on how to avoid this. I've known a lot of people who have fallen into this trap during high school, and they allowed their friends to encourage them to do bad things that they regretted later on in life as we got older. So instead of letting people control your actions that you regret later on, here are some things that you can do. First, you should always remember that pressure will not only come from obvious people and places. Your own best friends can often be the source of peer pressure. However, you should know that true friends will always support your values and decisions, and if your friends are saying things like, well, who needs you as a friend anyways, just because you feel uncomfortable doing something, then they are not your real friends, and you may want to go find new people to hang around with. Also, you can avoid situations where you know you may be subjected to peer pressure. If there is a party occurring on the weekend that you know you will be uncomfortable with, then you can always just say no and make other plans with your friends. I think one of the most important things is being open and honest with your family so that they can help prevent these types of situations. I remember one of my friends used to have a code with her mom, and when she felt uncomfortable at parties, she would just text her mom hi, and her mom would tell her that she needs to come home to clean her room or something so that others won't make fun of her for leaving the party. She would just blame it on her mom. However, you don't always need to leave, and you should definitely become comfortable with just saying no. You do not need to do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing. I know a lot of times people go into high school thinking that they need to drink or smoke to be cool, but when someone says no, I don't like to do those things, everyone respects that person, and they also respect them because they were honest and brave enough to say no. Always be your own person and never be scared of what others may think of you, and you will never be judged by the right people for saying no. Honestly, no matter what you do in life, you will always be judged, so there's no point in doing things that you don't want to do just for the attention from other people. Always make decisions based off of your wants and needs, not others. Now, you will hear from Isabel Fuentes and Isabel Perez. They have an experience that they would like to share with you.
Hi, I'm Bella.
And I'm Isabella.
And this is our story.
Me and Bella have dealt with peer pressure together and outside from each other. An experience that we share together is one time we went to our friend's house with our other friends who we grouped together with.
And we weren't really too close with these people, but they invited us over and we thought that we would go over because we wanted to meet new people.
Yeah, this was our freshman year, so we were both Bella moved here, so I wanted to introduce her to new people.
And so we decided to go to their house, and as soon as we walked into the door, we felt just a rush of uncomfortableness when everyone was drinking and smoking, and we just really felt like we didn't belong.
Yeah, we were literally, when we walked in the door, someone came over to us and tried to hand us a drink, and we just didn't really feel comfortable with that. If we wanted to do that, we would go on our own, but this we didn't feel.
I remember at one point we were just talking to each other in the bathroom, I had pulled Isabella aside and was like, should we be drinking? We felt so out of place, and everyone was there kind of pushing themselves onto us for the drinking and smoking. And I think someone even went up to us.
They were just saying hey, take a drink, it's fun, it's fine. And it's just difficult when you see everyone in an altered state of mind and you're just not like that. I really didn't feel comfortable, and since Bella lives in Seacliff, the house was relatively near her home.
Yeah, luckily it was close by, and we obviously hadn't partaken in that. And we decided just to tell everyone we were going home early, and we walked back to my house, which was only a block or two away. And I really think what we got out of the night was how real peer pressure is. I think that was both our first time really experiencing it in that type of setting. And the next day we were really scared to see the reactions of our new friends and if they thought we were going to be lame or not cool for not participating. But it was actually quite the opposite. They had completely understood. And I think that them being so forceful and having so much peer pressure like pressuring us the night before was just due to their altered state of mind.
Yeah, one of my friends actually came up to me and she said, hey, like, I was really drunk last night. I'm sorry if, like, you felt I was pushing it on you. Like, I understand if you don't do that, and that's really cool.
Yeah. So that was our story when we're together, but I think it's a little bit different when we're apart.
Yeah, there was a time where I was in Comac. I was staying with a friend that I had from camp, and it was crazy to me to see the different environment because not only were people drinking a lot, they were doing different kind of drugs, like other than marijuana.
And how many people were you close with at the party?
I was close with one person, but she was with all her like school friends, so I kind of just felt like out of the loop and like I didn't really feel like I fit in. So to try to fit in, like I definitely debated on drinking or trying marijuana, but then I like came to my senses and realized that wasn't me and I didn't like it.
So what did you like do to get out of that situation?
I texted my mom. We have this code word. I tell her I'm doing my laundry and she knows, and that means to come pick me up. Even though it was a far drive, my mom has always said to me, like, if you're ever in a situation where you don't feel comfortable, like, I'll come and get you. It's understandable.
Yeah. Okay. After hearing both of our stories, I think that everyone is well equipped and ready to recognize and say no to peer pressure.
Just because you say no to peer pressure, it doesn't mean that your friends are going to stop being your friends. We know from experience we still have the same friends and they still love us just as much.
If those are your true friends, that they're going to understand why you're uncomfortable in the situation and they're going to move on from it.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's important to recognize when you're in a situation where you're uncomfortable because that is peer pressure. Everyone watching this is going to go through it, but it's just important how to learn to say no.
And it's especially helpful when you have friends by your side to help you through the way, or even if you have a word to text with someone you love, like your parents, just so they know to get you out of that uncomfortable situation.
Up next is Jack Levin.
And he'll be talking about the importance of saying no.
Hi, my name is Jack Levin, and I'll be discussing the many ways of saying no. There are many ways of saying no. No thank you. Nope. Nah. Nix. Nay. During your high school career, you'll be put in a lot of situations, either at parties or events, where you're going to have to make a decision. So what happens if you say no? You may feel more secure. You may feel more confident. And your friends will respect you more. The best way is the simplest way, by just saying no. Now that you all are experts on saying no, what are the effects of substance abuse, and why is saying no so important? Here, my friend Russell will be discussing the effects of alcohol.
My name is Russell Kornfeld, and this next section goes over some of the statistics that have been recorded about adolescent alcohol consumption. So this first section goes through a few statistics, and I'll list them out now. The first one is 33% drank some amount of alcohol, 18% of people have binge drank, 8% drove after drinking alcohol, and 20% rode in a car with someone who has been drinking alcohol. That last statistic I really want to put emphasis on, the 20% rode with a driver who's been drinking alcohol. So that is especially bad because even though you yourself may have not been drinking alcohol, doing drugs, you've made the right decisions that night. You're choosing to be in a vehicle with someone who has not been making the right decisions. Some of the short-term effects that are involved in alcohol consumption can be distorted vision and hearing, headaches, slower decision-making. And when you're driving a car, there's a lot of snap decisions you need to make. You need to be focused and keep everybody in the car and everyone around you safe. So when someone has been drinking alcohol, they can't do that properly. They're putting you in danger as a passenger, they're putting themselves in danger as a driver, pedestrians walking, other people and other cars around the road. It's just a bad situation. The next statistic I want to talk about is catered directly to you guys, the 8th graders. So this one says that more than a third of 8th graders have had more than just a few sips of alcohol at some point. So that's a pretty large statistic. That's 1 of every 3 people, roughly, in your grade, 8th grade. So that is especially bad because alcohol can be addicting at some points. It can be perceived as a relaxing substance, but some people can perceive it as a relaxing substance and start to build reliance upon alcohol consumption. And when habits like that form, you can't do anything without having a sip of alcohol. And that's a really bad path to go down. So there are going to be instances in your future, whether you go to maybe a party or a small gathering with friends, where alcohol is going to be something that's available. It's going to be part of that night. So now it's up to you guys to make the right decision to try to avoid alcohol consumption, because you don't really know what effect it's going to have on you until you drink it. Alcohol has different levels of severity depending on weight and body type. And do you really want to find out how bad it's going to affect you by just trying it? Personally, I don't think it's a good idea, and I think everybody should try to stay true to themselves and avoid it. Next up, you'll be hearing from Mike Heffernan. We'll be discussing cigarettes.
Hi, my name is Michael Heffernan, and I'm going to be talking about cigarettes and the adverse effect that they have on your body. When a cigarette is lit and inhaled, a toxic chemical known as nicotine enters your lungs, artificially stimulating your brain. At the same time, thousands of other toxic chemicals enter your bloodstream. Imagine chemicals like battery acid, toilet cleaner, rat poison, paint, and rocket fuel flooding through your body, damaging your lungs, throat, heart, and your brain. Alongside these chemicals, there are also 43 dangerous chemicals known as carcinogens. Carcinogens are chemicals that cause mutations to occur within your cells, a process which leads to the formation of various different forms of cancer. Alongside cancer, many other serious, long-term health effects may happen from repeated cigarette abuse. After repeated nicotine abuse, your body becomes hardwired to the feeling of the artificial stimulation from nicotine. At this point, you may develop a dependency upon cigarettes, where the only thing you could think about is the next cigarette. This can wind up affecting the entire way you think about things. It could affect your motivation in school, your performance in sports, your relationships with your friends and other people, your family members. Everything you think about will be oriented around your nicotine addiction. This fixation is avoidable, and by working together and using the facts that we all just learned, we can help each other avoid addiction to cigarettes. Next, Jules is going to talk with you guys about the dangers of vaping.
Hi, my name is Jules Farastali, and today I will be speaking upon the topic of vaping. A Juul or a vape is a form of an electronic cigarette which converts liquid into inhaled vapor. Vapes are designed to look almost exactly like a cigarette. The main ingredient in the Juul is nicotine, which is a highly addictive drug. Daily cigarette smokers use the Juul as an alternative to try and quit smoking. However, teens took advantage of this and don't realize the effects it has on their bodies. The scariest part about a Juul is that one pod is equal to a full pack of cigarettes. Assuming a teen smokes one pod a week in 5 weeks, that's like 100 cigarettes, and one is considered an established smoker at such a young age. Vaping is such a prevalent issue in this world right now, and especially in your age group. From a personal experience, I know someone who actually got nicotine poisoning. Some of the symptoms were nausea, vomiting, and anxiety. Do you think it's really that necessary to harm your bodies at such a young age and become an established smoker from the age 13 to 15? I'm sure the majority of you all watching play some type of sport or do some type of physical activity. I'm a runner on the North Shore High School track team, and if you and I were to vape, it will truly push you back in sports and you won't be able to keep up. Not only does vaping affect your athletic performance, but your academic performance as well. You're going to be distracted in classes and not be able to focus. Bottom line, vaping is addictive. Not only is nicotine the main ingredient that makes it addicting, but it can be substituted for substances like marijuana. Now I will introduce Frankie Carrazzo to talk to you about the effects marijuana has on the body.
Hi, my name is Frankie Carrazzo, and I'll be discussing marijuana. Some might wonder how marijuana affects the adolescent body, but it affects it more ways than some might think. This chart shows marijuana usage in 8th, 10th, and 12th graders during their high school years. According to teenrehabcenter.org, around 13% of teenagers who start smoking marijuana are more likely to become dependent on it. Regular marijuana use can cause a drop in IQ of up to 8 points. IQ measures intelligence ability and skills such as reasoning, logic, and problem solving. Teens under the age of 17 who use the drug every day are 60% less likely to graduate from high school. 15% of 8th graders have reported that they tried marijuana, and by their senior year of high school, that percentage increased to 43%. Marijuana usage in young adults is still rising, even though marijuana usage before the age of 25 can stunt brain growth and development. Overall, marijuana might affect you in more ways than you might think. So it's up to you to make the right decision. Up next, we have Emma Morley discussing the dangers of opioids.
Hi, my name is Emma Morley, and I am going to be talking about opioids today. So the first thing you should know about opioids is that they are a very realistic drug that you will take in your lifetime. And opioids are prescribed to you by a doctor, and they are a very strong pain med that you will take after a surgery, after you do something to your knee, or sometimes to your shoulder, or even if you break a bone. Some opioids are oxycodone, Xanax, and some other sedatives that you are prescribed. Opioids are extremely addictive, and 1 out of every teens are reported to use prescription pain meds to get high, according to the DEA. So it's a very real problem. It happens in your community, in fact. I've never been to one of these, but I've heard of them happening on Long Island. They're called pill parties. So at a party, they'll put a bunch of painkillers and drugs that are in your medicine cabinet and just dump them into a pot and pass the pot around to all your friends in the circle, and you take a handful and you just pop them all into your mouth and swallow them. You're only supposed to take 1 pill every day, and you're taking them all at once, which could very likely lead to you overdosing, and that could be fatal, especially if you're also drinking alcohol at the party. And alcohol mixed with opioids increases their effect on your body. As little as 1/4 milligram of fentanyl can lead to a fatal overdose.
Don't be fooled. In this picture, there is a lethal dosage of fentanyl. Even what might seem like the smallest amount can be lethal. Because of their addictive nature, opioids often drive abusers to seek more potent and lethal drugs like heroin. Here is Christina Forsander. She has a story to tell.
Hi, my name is Christina Forsander, and I will be talking about the dangers of overdosing on heroin. What is an overdose? An overdose is when you take an excessive amount of any drug that can become life-threatening. Here are some mind-blowing statistics. In 2014, over 825 deaths were related to heroin overdose. An average of 75,000 New Yorkers have estimated to have used heroin. National Geographic have reported that in years 1999 and 2009, the use of heroin among adolescents have jumped 80%. Teens averaging 14 years of age have reported that they used the drug for the very first time. When I was younger, I was coming home from school and I saw flashing lights at my neighbor's house from police cars. I found out that my neighbor was taken away in an ambulance. Later that day, we learned that he overdosed on heroin. But his addiction wasn't just to heroin. His addiction started with prescribed painkillers after his knee surgery, and sadly, he is no longer here. Here are some things you could do if you are in trouble. Try and stay calm and know that mistakes happen. You can immediately take action by calling 911 to seek help. You can make a code word with your family to get you out of sticky situations. If you feel uncomfortable or pressured to make a decision, don't be afraid. Call a parent or friend. You will always feel good that you did. And remember, parents, friends, and family are always there to help. And now, here's Aiden Laporin.
Hi, my name is Aiden Laporin, and on behalf of the North Shore Key Club, we hope you learned something new, maybe built upon something you already knew, because this information is going to become really relevant really soon, coming up on a point of your lives where you're entering high school. These situations we presented you with, they're hypothetical right now, but in a few months, maybe a year, they're going to become real situations, because I know these situations we presented you with come from a place of I know I've been in some of these. I think everybody that's talked to you today has been in at least one of these situations, and we took this information that we learned and gave to you in this presentation, and we made the smart decisions. We learned how to say no. We learned how to use our parents as a scapegoat, how to use our resources that we have available to us, our support of our friends and family, to make the right decisions. Because life is more than just one decision, it's a series of decisions. And you have the support and the resources to make those continually correct and smart decisions, and decisions that you can say, I was proud of that. I did what I thought was right. With that, thank you.